Hi, this is your friend Shirley Patterson, and I am so excited to be on the Books to Boom Your Business show with Dr. Lotus Roche. Tune in as we discuss my new book, Let It Go, on how I was able to free myself from toxic relationships and take back my power, and so can you. See you soon.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's your lady, Dr. Lotus Roche, and I'm here today to say welcome to Books to Boom Your Business. This is a show where we have people that are here coming to talk to you specifically about books that they have authored. Many of you are authors out there, and sometimes you just don't know which way to go. But we have authors from all around the world that are here to speak directly to you to help you birth that book that you were given so that you can do the things that you and only you can do with your life experiences right here on Books to Boom Your Business. And today I have a fantastic author all the way from Paterson, New Jersey. That's right. She's a speaker. She's an author. She's a mother. She's a grandmother. But most importantly, she's a child of the Most High. And she's a survivor. She has survived some amazing things when it comes to violence at the hands of someone she loved. Not only did she experience violence and abuse, her children did too. Now, she could have laid down and said, I give up, I throw my hands up, enough is enough. And say, I'm just going to lay down and take it. But she didn't. And with prayer and with taking action, she made it out. And she has a great new book, and we're going to be talking about it today. We're going to take some deep dives. And as I always say, note takers are money makers, but you can't make no money if you don't have no notes. So take some notes, write it down, and let us know where you're coming in from, because we want to shout you out. And also, stay tuned to the end of the show because we have a special giveaway, but you got to be here to take leverage on this giveaway. So with no further ado, when I come back to you, I'll be coming back to you with Shirley Patterson, our guest for today. We'll see you real soon. Please welcome the dynamic CEO, speaker, and author of Let It Go, Shirley A. Patterson. Welcome, Shirley A. Patterson to the show. Hey there, how are you, dear?
I am doing well, and thank you for having me. I'm excited about this moment.
It's a true pleasure to have you here, Shirley, and I love that we have this opportunity to get up close and personal about your new book. It's time to let it go.
Yeah,
I know that this book really is near and dear to your heart. I know you have a series of books that's coming out, but we're so happy to have you here for this first one to talk about this one. So, Shirley, would you tell our audience a bit more about you? I've told them a little bit about you, but can you tell them a bit more about you, like where you're from, maybe who your mom and dad are, how many siblings you got, how many children you got, whatever you want to share.
Thank you. As you mentioned earlier, my name is Shirley Patterson, and I am a mother of 4 beautiful children and 6 wonderful grandchildren. I am also the youngest of 11, and my parents, Krista May and Benny Patterson, has gone on before me, and a lot of my books is kind of inspired, and I dedicate them to my parents. And as you stated before, I am a survivor who lived through some toxic and abusive experiences. And I've made it through. I made it through. By the grace of God, He allowed me to make it through. And I'm here today for such a time as this. And I believe so that I can be able to help someone else that may be going through domestic violence, or they're in a toxic situation and they just don't know how to get out. I just believe that the Most High God has spared my life and allowed me to be here on today. So I am grateful for that. I can't hear you.
I be backstage all day. Yeah, go. But anyway, I want to thank you also, and I'm so grateful that God has spared your life to be here with us today to tell your story. And you know what, Miss Shirley, your story is oftentimes the story of so many others who have been silenced either by family tradition or societal norms that are really not normal, and they get silent and they're not talking about things. You know, we have this old cliche that children are to be seen and not heard.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we grow up into adults that even though people can see us,
Yes.
sometimes we don't tell the story. So we're not heard, even though we're catching hell, if you will, in our homes, in relationships that we're with with people. And even sometimes we're catching hell at jobs or etc. So for those of you that have joined us today, I'd like you to take your phone, please take your phone and go ahead and take a moment, and I want you to share this broadcast. Why am I asking you to share this broadcast? Because there's somebody out there that needs to hear this. There's somebody that you might know, but you don't know what they're going through. There's somebody
Mm-hmm.
that you might know and you do know what they're going through, but you don't know what to do. You don't know
Yeah.
how to help them to let it go and to get out of their negative situations. So, we're
Yes.
going to give you about 30 seconds. 30 seconds. We want you to tag somebody and share with them. And then when you tag and share with them, I want you to tell us who you've tagged and shared if you feel comfortable doing so. 30 seconds. Tag, you're in. You've got 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Tag someone and tell them to come on in. All right, and we are back. We hope that you have tagged someone. I have just tagged Dr. Neelam Ra. I'm sharing with her. I've tagged Angela Elding. I know she's at work. I've tagged Phyllis Weaver. She's a coach. I've tagged Elizabeth Ferdinand out of New Jersey. And I've tagged so many more people. I double dog dare you. Somebody tagged Kim Jacobs from the Kim Jacobs Show. Okay, and just tag everybody you know. Cynthia Oliver, we're tagging you to come on in the show. And as you're tagging people and bringing them in the show, we want them also to share this with someone that they know. So, Shirley A. Patterson, you're a prolific speaker, you're an author, you're a mother, you're a grandmother, you're a cousin, you're a friend, you're a sister, you're an auntie, but also you're a survivor of domestic violence. And at some point, you had to let it go.
Yes.
So, can you talk to us about your story, how you were impacted by domestic violence, and also how your children were impacted?
Um, I want to say that I was, at the time, I didn't know I was a broken person. I was broken inside. My mind, my heart, my spirit, it was broken. And I was so wrapped up in trying to do the right thing, you know, in my relationship until I lost myself.
Mhm.
And when I lost myself, I lost my identity and I didn't really know who I was anymore. I was so messed up mentally. Um, as you stated before, a child should stay in a child's place. as you know, so we kind of like grew up with those things. And it was kind of difficult for me at first to share my story with my sisters, the ones that I was really close to, my older siblings. And at the time, I was away from family. I was, I was, I felt like I was alone, but I knew that I wasn't alone. And so, because I had lost my identity and my mind was messed up, I believe that's what made me feel so much more vulnerable and susceptible and open to drawing those toxic experiences into my life. Because when you're broken and when you don't really know who you are, it's like I believe that those other broken people, they say hurting people hurt people. And you just give off this aura that I believe they can sense. And so it became like a pattern in my life that I knew that it needed to be broken. And so in my alone time with God, I began to, I woke up one day and I just said, I am tired. I am tired of the mental abuse. I was tired of the verbal abuse. I believe that most people really don't understand that a verbal abuse is just as it has an impact on you more so than physical, because we can heal from our bruises and we can heal from the wounds. But when someone takes control over your mind, when they take control over your mind, they take control over your whole being. And when you're constantly told that you'll never be amount to anything, or no one will ever want you, or that they were the only ones that loved you, or is accept you, that accept me. And so you begin to believe those things. And that's why the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. And we have to be mindful of the words that we speak out of our mouths, because words carry power. It can either make you or break you. And the words that were spoken over me literally broke me. And then I just, like I said, I just woke up and I was just tired of being tired of the depression. I was waking up depressed, to bed depressed, sleepless nights. I was tired of the mind games that kept me questioning my own sanity because I began to believe that maybe it was something that was wrong with me. Maybe I was the cause of these things happening in my life, and I didn't feel like I was good enough. I don't know if anybody ever been there where you've been beaten down so much verbally to you just don't believe that you're good enough for anything. My self-esteem was shattered. I didn't like to even look in the mirror at myself. I didn't like to look at myself, and I just could not take the pressure of being tied up and tied down mentally and physically in this toxic relationship. And so I began to cry out to the Most High God from the depths of my soul. I began to cry out and I began to ask for help. I began to ask God to show me how to sever these toxic relationships. Show me how to free myself of all past relationships that I were in that moment. And then God began to speak to my soul. He began to speak, and I heard in my spirit that first you have to forgive and then let it go. And that was very challenging for me because I didn't know how to let go. When you're in a situation that you've been in it for so long, you just don't even know how am I going to do this? How am I going to let go and survive? Because when it's the only thing that you know, it's the only thing that you know. But by the grace of God,
Yep.
brought me
That's
through.
true.
And I can say, with continual prayer, continual meditation, continual fasting, and I took accountability. That was the first thing I had to do. One of the things I had to do was acknowledge first that there was a problem. I had to acknowledge that you need help. You need to get out of this. You need to get your children out of it, and you need to get out of it in a safe way. So I took accountability. And then the next thing I did was I had to really do some soul searching. And I had to stop being the victim. Though we are victims to domestic violence, I had to stop being the victim because I've realized that being caught up in what others have done to to me or how others have hurt me, and it was like a defense mechanism for me, and it gave me um I felt like I had the right to be angry, or I had the right to hold on to that pain. But then I realized one day God began to show me that pain is only it's destroying your life, because being angry at the people that we believe have done us wrong, it's not doing anything to them, but it was doing everything to me, and I couldn't move past that. I wanted to sit in my sorrows. I wanted to sit in my woe is me. I wanted to just sit in that. But then God say, no. The only way you're going to heal yourself is you got to get up, shake yourself, take accountability, and stop blaming others for your pain. So when I took that accountability and I was able to stop blaming people for where I was in life. I I had to stop blaming people for my situations being practically almost homeless at one point in my life, because I had so much high expectation that these people was supposed to be there to assist me in my go through. But God had another plan.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't understand the why in our situations. We don't understand the why. And so I just began to let go. It was
Yes.
hard. It was hard.
Mhm.
And it wasn't something that happened overnight. And then I had to look in the mirror and I had to forgive me. I had to forgive myself.
Wow.
I had to forgive myself for the things that I allowed. Because see, there are some things that I could have took control so that certain things would not have transpired in my life. And so when I took control and I started healing myself, see, I was looking for the answers outside of me. I was looking for answers through people who I used to cry to,
Right.
who I used to share my story, and I knew they were sick and tired of hearing the same story over and over.
Yeah.
But I loved them because they stood there with me.
Mhm.
They allowed me to get that thing out. And they also had to speak some hard truths to me.
Mhm. Mhm.
When they began to speak the hard truth to me, instead of me being angry with them,
Mhm.
it might have hurt it,
Yeah.
but I had to pull back and begin to think about what they were saying to me.
Right.
And then I had to say, you know what? They're absolutely right.
And
You know,
and I just wanted to interject for one moment, if I may. And I want to say I see so many people streaming in from um, Nigeria, Ghana, Pakistan. Europe, and just all over the place. United States, Chicago, and I'm live on location here in Chicago. So, and I'm happy to be here today. But what I heard you say, you had to take accountability, one,
Mm-hmm.
not be a victim, and you really had to forgive yourself first.
Yes.
Because a lot of times when we're in situations, we blame ourselves, we beat
Mm-hmm.
ourselves up, we don't forgive ourselves. And so it impacts us in such a way where it makes us sick, it makes us unhealthy,
Mm-hmm.
it makes us
Mm-hmm.
unwell. And when we're going through all of that, we're getting this physical abuse, we're getting this emotional abuse,
Mm-hmm.
and we are abusing ourselves as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, how were you able to come through that? Because that's got to be like life shaking. And I see so many people in the chat, and all those in the chat, we're going to highlight you here shortly. But I wanted to ask you that first. How did you come through that? How did you forgive yourself?
Like I stated before, it wasn't easy. And I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror sometimes because I felt ashamed. I felt ashamed because I kept rehearsing these negative thoughts in my mind that I was a failure. I
Mm,
failed my children. I failed at this relationship. So I just felt like a big failure.
right,
And it took a long time for me to be able to look up because I
right,
always had my
right,
head down.
right.
And I had to raise my head, get the confidence within myself,
Hmm.
and look myself in the mirror. And I began to speak positive. I turned those negative words into positive words, that I would speak affirmations into my life each and every day. I would
Wow.
take, I would write on sticky notes and I would stick them all around my place, or I would just carry them with me. So whenever I felt the discouragement or
Yes.
the defeat of failure, I would pull those things,
Wow.
I had a book, also a journal, and I will pull those things out and I begin to speak over myself. And that's how I was able to overcome and stop self sabotaging my own life,
Wow.
because that's exactly what I was doing.
Self sabotage. Now,
Yes.
now, we're gonna put that in. We're gonna put that in the chat here. Self sabotage. How many of us around the world are self sabotaging ourselves? Now, you may not want to say it to us, and that's okay. But write that down in your journal. And you heard her. You heard Miss Shirley say she had a journal. A journal. Even the Bibles that many of us read say, write it down and make it plain. See, when you write something down, it's right before you. You see it. You know, we've heard it said people believe what they see in black and white, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's written down. So to help yourself, these are nuggets, folks. I'm telling you, this is life changing information. Please write this down. Take notes. Take notes. You got to write it down. What's hurting you? What's stopping you? Especially if you're in a bad relationship. And you might not be in a bad relationship with another person. You might be in a bad relationship with you
Mm.
because
That's
you're beating yourself down.
mm-hmm.
You're holding these things that people have said to you that don't serve you, and you're playing them over and over and over again on the record player of your mind. I
Mm-hmm.
used to always say, you got to take the needle off the record
Mm.
and
Yes.
stop playing that toxic record in your mind.
Yes.
Okay. So, Miss Shirley, you said that you took control by being honest with yourself, by writing it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
By forgiving yourself, by telling yourself the truth
Mm-hmm.
so that you could seek help from your higher source, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went inside. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't go outside looking in the parking lot for your house keys with a flashlight when you lost the keys on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
It really started inside. So I absolutely love that. So when you said self sabotage, you really kicked it up another step because we self-sabotage with the way we speak to ourselves. So I
Mm-hmm.
love that you shared. We got to speak positive things over our life. And
Mm-hmm.
we have to speak affirmations. I love that you said speak affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure we journal. Enough with the self-sabotage. So I want to take this moment to look at some of the remarks from some of our viewers. So Denise out in Chicago said, some of the hardest things for us to hear come from the ones that love us the most.
Yes.
And you talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
How did hearing these tough things from those that you love the most, one, how did it how did it make you feel? And then how did it inspire you to move in the direction that you needed to go?
As I stated before, it hurt. Of course, it hurts because when the truth comes, there was a movie, I forget who it was, and he said, "You can't handle the
You
truth."
can't handle the truth. Jack Nichols, right? Jack Nichols or Jack Nicholson. Yeah,
Yeah.
he said
And in that moment, no, I couldn't handle the truth.
that. Hmm.
But when I would get in my quiet time, I would hear those beautiful women that
Yeah,
really spoke to my soul. And
yes.
I would rehearse those words. And I had to come to grips that these women were not telling me this to destroy me, but they were helping me
Yeah.
to get up out of that place, that dark place, that what the Bible says, the Lodabar, the Lodabar. I was in a Lodabar place.
Mhm.
Mephibosheth, he was in a Lodabar place. But
Yeah.
then he sent some Davids in my life
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
to come for me
Mhm.
and to pull me up out of that situation.
So who were some of those ladies? Can you are you able to share their names? Who
Yes.
were those ladies?
Um, one was, I call her my mother, Joyce Jones. I
Mhm.
hope she don't mind me mentioning her name. One was also Patrice, um, and Cheryl, and of course my sisters, Verlinda. Um, that one right there was the hardcore one
Mhm.
because her tongue is very sharp,
Uh-huh.
but I know that when she speaks with authority.
Right.
And
That's
so when people are speaking with authority in your life, it's
mhm.
gonna cut like a
Oh
two-edged
yeah.
sword.
Oh yeah. It's gonna sting. It's gonna sting. It's gonna sting.
But all I was able to do was thank God that He had those women in my life for such a time
Mhm.
as that moment, in those moments.
Yeah.
And I sometimes I think about it and I just say, what would I have done if they weren't there? So
Yep.
I'm really
Yep.
grateful for them.
Yep.
I
Yep.
really am. To this very
Yep.
day, I'm thankful for
Yep.
their sternness. I'm thankful for them speaking their truth to me,
Mhm.
even
And
when
you know that's huge because one of our viewers out in the Philippines says that people who really care will be honest with their words. Those words might hurt us sometimes, but it will help us to heal.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes when we look back at those words, and they may sting initially, but later they can also bring us comfort
Mhm.
because we take the comfort in knowing that someone cares enough to even tell us, first of all, and they care enough to tell us the truth. And so
Mhm.
we have Maurice over in Africa. He's joining us. He said, I can imagine how hard that was, but you did great, Miss Shirley. You did great. And so we're just so thankful. We're so thankful for you. And Miss Nora said that you can be in a bad relationship with yourself too, by the way. You treat yourself. That's
Mhm.
powerful because
Yes.
sometimes we get treated in such a bad way. We buy into it like, oh, we supposed to be treated this way.
Mhm.
I don't deserve any better than that. So wow, that's great. That's great information right there. So Janine, she says the people that you are closest to you hurt, they hurt you. We are sometimes silent because of our loved one that supposedly love us.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about that, because she's got an interesting point. Because the person that say they love us, they
Mm-hmm.
could be married to us, they could be a long time relationship, they could be our mother, our father. They're the closest to us, but they hurt us, and sometimes we might feel embarrassed. Maybe. What are your
Yes,
thoughts on that?
absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Jada, for your comment. She's absolutely right because being in is so crazy because you're in this thing, you're in this relationship, and the person says they love you, and at the same breath they speaking down on you,
Right.
or they're doing something to tear you down. Because if they see that you're feeling yourself, so to speak, or you're 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 excited about something that is happening in your life,
Mhm.
they don't want to see you happy. They want to see you suppressed. They want to suppress your voice. They
Mhm.
want to make you think that you must be crazy because that's not what I meant. So it's like, then you start looking at yourself and you're thinking, am I crazy? Because I know that that's what they're saying, what they really meant.
Mhm.
But then when you try to bring it up, or you try to have a discussion about your what you're feeling, it's like your feelings and your emotions are not valid. And that's can be very, very painful. So that's when I started just holding things in, because what I felt like, what's the use of me trying to explain to them what I'm going through or what I'm feeling when they don't even see my uh, emotions as being valid.
Mhm.
And so, yes, that can be very, very painful, especially for those who we trust, we um, we look up to, or we depend on. Because when you're some relationships, like I was, at one point, I had to totally depend on them. I didn't have a
Mhm.
job. I was
Mhm.
an at-home mom, and so there was nothing coming in, like finances coming in for
Right.
me.
Right. Mhm.
And so you get stuck in this place where you're not working, so you have to rely on them. You have to depend on them.
Mhm.
And it's I said, once God brought me out of that, I never ever want to find myself in a position where I had to totally depend on someone, and because I didn't have the means to be able
Right.
to survive on my
You
own.
stuck in this place, right, where you're not. Sorry about that. I'm doing double duty, but that is profound, profound. And so, words can heal or destroy.
Hmm.
We have to also be mindful of our words. We have to choose wisely. I absolutely love that, Doc. Um, and at the same time, you got to be yourself. Be genuine in what you're
Hmm.
sharing. Okay,
Hmm.
and in over in Nigeria, um, Nora says it's beautiful to have friends who uplift us in down times. People who tell us the truth even when it's difficult. So we want to be connected to people who are caring about us, who are
Hmm.
telling us the truth, okay? Who are also giving us words to help heal ourselves,
Hmm.
okay? And Miss Tamar said sharing bad experiences is sometimes scary. So she's got a question for you. Was there a moment that you felt that when you were writing the book, Let It Go, you might have thought that you were regret or you would regret writing it? And if yes, who or what helped you to push the truth, to push through and share your truth?
Well, yes, it was very scary because there were moments that I, as I was writing, I felt like I was kind of like reliving it. And so there were times when I would
Mm-hmm.
be in tears because, and I believe that was part of my healing as well. As I
Mm-hmm.
wrote, I was healing myself. So,
Right.
yes, I was, kind of thinking to myself, of course, negative thoughts were going to come. Nobody's
Yes.
going to want to read my book. What if this happens? What if that happened? Um, Maybe I shouldn't continue to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But my best friend, I call her my best friend because we've been friends since third grade, Cheryl. If you're listening, I love you. Cheryl would encourage me
Mm-hmm.
to push forward.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I had to encourage myself.
I had to carry.
I had to be my big encourager.
Mm-hmm.
I had to tell myself that you got this.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to help others.
Mm-hmm.
This is the purpose of sharing your story, as vulnerable as that may be. You have to know that there are others that's
Mm-hmm.
going to come behind you, and there are others that may be in that moment and they
Mm-hmm.
just don't know what to do or how to get out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to be there to assist them.
To assist them. So let me ask you this: who is this book for? This book, Let It Go. You're talking about the struggles you've come through. You're talking about the hardships you've come through. You're talking about being abused from your former spouse. You're talking about how your children were abused and how you had to step in. I mean, it's so many things you're talking about that haven't even shared because you got to read the book. The book is going to help so many people. But who is this book for?
This book is not just for women, it's also for men because a lot of times people don't talk about men being abused in relationships. Um, it's also for young, middle age, older. It's for whoever is dealing with any kind of toxic situations in their lives. I believe that this book will help them and guide them in the direction that they need to go to first be able to free themselves from that situation and free themselves safely. And I just believe it's international. It's for all walks of life. That's who I believe it's for.
And I agree with you. We have people from all over the world joining us here today. We have men and women all around the world. And I know later on tonight, when we broadcast it again, we'll have people from all over the world because we're going to broadcast this a few times because we don't want to miss any of you. We don't want to miss any of you because this book has a lot to offer. And so we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and we want to share with you that we are going live and in charge on Friday. And we really want to have your help. We want to have your help helping Miss Shirley become a number one international best-selling author on Amazon. And we see Rico Mael is in the house. Hey, Rico, happy to have you here. And we want you to share this with everyone you know. So we're going to have a quick break and we'll be right back. And while we're breaking, broadcasters, share this with someone you know. Be right back. All right, that's it. That's it. Did you miss it? You missed it? Here it goes again. It's Shirley A. Patterson's new book, Let It Go. Now, you guys got a sneak peek of what we're going to be showing on Friday. On Friday, we want you to join us Friday morning at 10 a.m., where we're going live right here in social media. We're going to be everywhere. And we want you to scan that QR code that we just gave you a sneak peek. See, you just made history. We want you to scan that QR code on Friday and help her become a #1 international best-selling author. We know it's without question. Everybody on the planet typically knows somebody,
Yes.
somebody, a man, a woman, maybe even a teenager who is going through something and could gain a wealth of value, freedom, quality, knowledge, and a partnership, knowing that you are not alone
Hmm.
and that you can make it through. And so, with no further ado, Miss Shirley, we know you have your ebook coming out, you have your paperback book coming out, but you also have a book signing coming up in Paterson, New Jersey. And for
Yeah.
those of you that might just be joining us, you didn't hear this earlier. So I'm going to play it for you now. Please welcome the dynamic CEO, speaker, and author of Let It Go, Shirley A. Patterson. That's right, it's out of sight and it's dynamite. Her new book, Let It Go, by Shirley A. Patterson. Friday, when we see you, when we see your beautiful and handsome face in a place, we're gonna delve a little deeper into the book. I'm going to maybe get some secret sauce about the book, maybe just a little paragraph. And if you want to hear that, you've got to show up and ready and write and type and show up with someone that you know. Bring them along on the show because we're going to give you some secret sizzling sauce from her new book, Let It Go. So, Miss Shirley, where will they be able to find your book? And also, can you tell us about this upcoming book signing that you're having in Paterson, New Jersey? Talk to us.
Yes, the book signing is September the 21st from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Patterson Public Library. It's a free event. Come one, come all. It's going to be exciting because my guest is none other than Dr. Lotus Richey. She's going to be a guest author at the book signing. And come out because we have gifts, free
Yes.
gifts for you. So we will meet you there on Saturday, September the 21st from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And that's 250 Broadway, Paterson, New Jersey, at the Paterson Library. And
And
also, if you would like to get a copy of my book or download the ebook, you can go to www.shirleyapattersonbooksandevents.com. One more time,
come again.
www.shirleyapattersonbooksandevents.com. Go there and get your copy today. Thank you.
You put that out there, didn't you? You put that out there. She is not playing, everybody. So you see her amazing face in the place. So I want you to take a moment, if you would, and be sure to go over. Go ahead and get your book ahead of time. She is doing some pre-sales, and you will be happy that you get your book on the pre-sale. You can go over to her website, like she just shared with you, www.shirleyapattersonbooksandevents.com. You can go right here and you can check her book out. All right. You can see right here, you can scan that. It says scan me and pre-order your copy. And I'm sharing to go ahead and pre-order your copy and learn a little bit about her while you're here and get connected with her. Get connected with her and learn more about her. She's got 5 books that she's written with over 500 estimated happy customers and 50 plus projected sales already coming along on this book. Okay, so if you want to book an appointment with her, you can book an appointment with her because, as some of you know, she's also a certified coach and she can coach you through some of the challenges that you are facing and share some of her amazing programs that she's putting in place to help people just like you or people that you know that needs her help. And you can definitely contact her. You can shop. She has an online store where you can go and get some things from her online store, and she's upping her inventory. And so you can be a part of her making history, becoming a #1 international best-selling author on Amazon. And guess what? You can also help her be one of the first ones in her family to be a #1 international best-selling author. You can make that happen. And those you know and care about can help make that happen as well. And so, with no further ado, I want to say this to you as well. Why are we saying go ahead and get your pre-order, get your copy, go ahead and get in line? Because she's gonna have lines. You ever went to a grocery store or a conference or a concert or something, and the tickets are selling out? Well, this is what's happening because our broadcast is going to be also in Apple TV, Roku TV, in over 400,000 homes. So guess what? There's going to be a lot of folks clamoring to buy this book. So we don't want you to get left out. So go ahead and pre-order your book and you will get your book right away. Okay, so with that being said, again, we want to thank you all for being here with us today. We want to let you know that you're appreciated, you're loved, you're respected, and you're admired, and you are thought of. And so, with no further ado, I leave you in the capable hands of Miss Shirley A. Patterson to have her final thoughts for books that are definitely going to boom your business. Miss Shirley?
Yes, I leave with you. Remember this: death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat its fruit. So, if you want to see growth in your life, you must change the way that you think and the way that you speak to yourself and speak to your situation. And know that you're not alone in this. We love you. I love you. And be encouraged and know that things are always working out for you.
All right. I love it. And guess what? It is a great day in every way. And we appreciate you for being here today. And we welcome you to join us back on Friday and get your book because you don't want to be left behind. Okay. And like she said, it's all a matter of your mind. It's about what you think and speak. Speak a great word over yourself. Until we see you on Friday, be blessed, don't stress, and don't take no mess as you ignite and take flight in every area of your life. And to all of our viewers, we thank you. We welcome you. Share, 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 and share with someone you care. And we'll see you on Friday. See you then. Thank you for watching the show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ring that bell so you won't miss a thing. And we'll see you on the next episode of Books to Boom Your Business. If you want to be a guest on the show, please connect with us at lotus@lotusrocheteignitesyou.com.